Chair, RB. The NHS is under immense pressure. We all know that. And we all feel that we struggle to deliver the care we aspire to and to which our patients deserved. We've already at this ARM debated STPs, cuts, rota gaps and the like, and we must advocate for a better service and we must advocate for our patients. But we're also a union, and so we must advocate for each other. So we shouldn't be afraid to talk about pay. We all deserve to be paid properly for the essential work we all do for patients. And pay must not only be fair, but it must ensure that we recruit and retain doctors in the profession. So here's a fact. The average consultant has seen their pay rise by 6% since the start of the recession. That sound good? But inflation's risen by 24%. And the average wage increase across the country has been around 22%. So others have seen their pay keep pace. And another fact, over the same period, the nation's wealth rose 9% above inflation. So as we heard yesterday, we must argue for and fight, if necessary, to remove the cap on public sector pay. We must strive to reverse the many years of creeping decline in doctors' salary. It's encouraging that politicians seem to be waking up to the damaging effects of continuing pay restraint, but this is an issue on which we need and we will push hard with other branches of practice and with other groups of healthcare workers. But this must be set right. You heard me say the word fight, and fighting is something that I and we will do. But fighting doesn't always mean full-on confrontation. Sometimes there's a place for boxing clever, for careful negotiation. And that's what we've been doing during the long negotiations about a new consultant contract. And the consultant contract isn't just for us existing consultants, it's for junior doctors, for our next generation. And let me touch on a couple of points around the new contract proposal. And a proposal it is at this stage. First is about choice. And we do need to talk about choice because it's a powerful option. But it is only an option at this stage, as I said. And it applies to juniors taking on their first consultant's post and those of us already there. All of us would be free to stick with or take the old contract or sign up to a new one that we've been working on if we chose. And we think that choice could work for many because we're not all the same. Some of us are men, some women, some of us have caring responsibilities, some have disabilities, some have taken longer to become consultants, having trained less than full-time because of other commitments. Some have come from overseas to help the NHS, or become consultants from the SAS grade through the CSER route. Some will want to continue to work less than full-time, but whatever they are, whatever their background, an individual choice would mean that every one of us, and those of us to be consultants in the future, could decide what is best for them, rather than have no individual choice because 50.1% of those who voted at some time in the past decided one way or another. And it's worth remembering that this idea of choice for future consultants is something entirely new. It wasn't the case with previous contract negotiations, and it's something that we've achieved through our careful negotiation and not through overt confrontation. My second point on the contract is about the pay scale. And we think it's a fair deal for trainees and for consultants. In fact, we think it offers real advantages. Under the proposed new contract, you'd reach the top pay point in 5 or 6 years rather than the current 19 years. And that would rightly reward your expertise and do it earlier in your career. And it has significant long-term advantages with a career average pension scheme. There are pros and cons of both contracts, of course there are, but the Consultants Committee is and will be working hard to explain them, to doctors and medical students of each and any grade across the country. We truly want this to work for us all. We'll continue, in addition, to call on the Doctors and Dentists Review Body to be true to its brief. It needs to rediscover its independence, to be brave enough to give a view on our pay uplifts that doesn't simply reflect the instructions it's been given. We're sympathetic to their position, but the pretense must end. But back to where I began. The Consultants Committee will continue to work with colleagues, junior and SAS doctors, GPs and others to deliver a good outcome for doctors and to inform and influence the agenda of the BMA and of the government. We are and we will help to do our part to secure and safeguard the future of the NHS and of the profession, for consultants, for SAS and junior doctors, and for the patients we serve, for us all. RB, I move.